Hello, welcome back to We the People Politics. Today, we will be making an election prediction map for the 2024 presidential election between Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Leader of the Opposition Pierre Poilievre. Obviously, neither of these candidates are actually eligible to run for the presidency as they are both Canadian. However, I think that would be interesting to compare the politics of America and Canada in this video with an election prediction. Also, as there are obviously no American polls comparing these candidates, this prediction will be mostly based upon my personal interpretations. Before we get predicting, however, let's learn a little bit about the candidates, what they have done, and what their policy proposals are. Starting with Justin Trudeau, he has been the Prime Minister of Canada since 2015, leader of the Liberal Party since 2013, and representative of the District of Papineau since 2008. As Prime Minister, he and the Liberal Party have increased taxes, legalized marijuana, legalized euthanasia, banned conversion therapy for minors, and led Canada through the COVID-19 pandemic. He plans to achieve zero carbon emissions by 2050 and has banned 6 common single-use plastics, including grocery bags, straws, and cutlery. However, he is also supportive of oil and gas pipelines. Moving on to Pierre Poilievre, he has been the opposition leader since 2022, leader of the Conservative Party for the same amount of time, and representative of the district of Nepean-Carleton from 2004 to 2015. He has also occupied several shadow cabinet posts in which he has scrutinized the government under Justin Trudeau. He supports the building of new infrastructure, incentivizing the use of green energy, repealing Canada's carbon tax, supplying weapons to Ukraine, lower taxes, the legalization of recreational marijuana, and the enforcement of illegal immigration laws. Now that we have a basic overview of who the candidates are, let's get predicting. We will start with the safe states, which are determined by 12 percentage points or more. For Poilievre, these will be the states of Alaska, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska at large and its first and third districts, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Maine's 2nd Congressional District. All of these are solid blue, as it is the color of the Canadian Conservative Party. For Trudeau, he will easily carry the states of Hawaii, California, Massachusetts, Delaware, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Vermont, and Maine's 1st Congressional District. One major reason for Trudeau not having as many safe states as one might expect is that Poilievre is miles more popular than he is. According to an Abacus data poll surveying 1,500 Canadians, the Conservatives, under Poilievre's leadership, lead the Liberals by 17%. This poll shows Trudeau's favorability rating at a ridiculously low level at 25%. This makes his net favorability rating at minus 34 points. Meanwhile, Poilievre blows him completely out of the water at a plus 6 net favorability rating, putting him 40 points above Trudeau. Poilievre has shown himself to be a great debater against Trudeau in Parliament and has a very likable personality. Up in the Pacific Northwest and New England, common Democratic strongholds, his likability and non-association with Donald Trump would make many more moderate and independent voters support him. Thus, the majority of these states will only be likely Trudeau. All of these likely states are determined anywhere in between 5 and 12 percentage points. The state of Colorado will also be likely Trudeau, as despite the country leaning towards Poilievre, I think that Trudeau would be strong here, as his government legalized recreational marijuana, which Colorado was the first state to do in the US. Trudeau's final likely state will be Illinois, where I think black voters will not vote for him as much as they would a Democrat due to their loyalty to the party and their tendency to be more socially conservative. For Poilievre, he will carry the Midwestern states of Iowa and Ohio. While I think blue-collar voter turnout will be lower for him than Trump, I still foresee him being more preferable than Trudeau. In the state of Texas, I think that it will be likely Poilievre, as even though Trudeau is not responsible for the border crisis in America, it has been a weak point for him in Canada, and Poilievre has called for tougher policies against illegal immigration while still being very pro-legal immigration. I think he will also take Florida by a likely margin, as it has become solidly conservative recently, and I do not think Trudeau has any power to change that. In the state of New Mexico, I think that Poilievre's improved performance among college-educated voters would give him a fighting chance in the state. Add that to the border crisis, and I think that it will only be lean for Trudeau. A lean state is any state determined by 2 to 5 percentage points. I think he would also take the former battleground state of Virginia by a lean margin, as it has been in between lean and likely for the left-wing candidate for the past couple of elections now, and I do not see it changing. Moving over to the Midwestern state of Minnesota, it has historically been a Democratic stronghold until 2016, when Trump lost it by only 1.5%. I believe that Trudeau would win it by just over 2 points in the state, making it lean Trudeau. Finally, we will go to Nebraska's 2nd district, where I believe that Trudeau will lead by a similar margin to Biden, maybe slightly less. Due to Poilievre's popularity, I will say that it is barely lean Trudeau. Poilievre's first and most likely lean state will be the state of Arizona. It narrowly flipped from Republican to Democrat in 2020. However, I think that Poilievre's stance on the border policy and overall popularity will give him its 11 electoral votes. He will also win the states of Georgia and North Carolina by lean margins, as Trudeau will not have the same strength among black voters that Biden has, and these are historically more conservative states. I predict that Poilievre will win the state of Wisconsin by a lean margin, simply due to its overall popularity and support among rural voters. His final lean state will be the state of New Hampshire, as it has been very open to more moderate conservatives, such as Governor Chris Sununu. With New Hampshire and Wisconsin, Poilievre is already above 270 electoral votes, which is what is required to win the presidency. As for the remaining states, I have each and every one of them going to him by a tilt margin, that being 2 percentage points or under. All of these are incredibly close. However, Poilievre's popularity and likability greatly outshines Trudeau's, giving him an advantage and an electoral college victory of 318 electoral votes to Trudeau's 220. As much as many people would consider this a landslide victory, I think it would be even worse for Trudeau if Canada's new Democratic Party were to run in this election. Comment down below if you would like me to add Canada's more prominent third parties in a future video. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please subscribe. We are super close to 10 subscribers, such an incredible milestone, and it would make my day if we got there before my next video. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you in the next one.